Greetings, Taurus. This is your 2016 forecast. My name's Victoria Martin, and I think you're one of the better framed characters this year, 2016. Let's take a look at it. I'm going to go month by month. You can freeze frame on any of these, and you can read through and just kind of put together your own forecast. It's kind of like an almanac. But I'm going to start off with the title page here for each month, which actually is the flavor of the month for everyone. And then I'm going to break it down into what does it mean for you. So the whole thing about January is that their forecast is that omens are about who has real power are going to be out there. So there's also going to be more revolution and upgrade jitters. My advice is be cool, manage your brand and your duties. Mercury's retrograde, January 5th through 25th. Okay, there's a new moon that is going to set the pace for dealing with power and wealth trade secrets in regarding your education, your religious situation, your global awareness, or any kind of travel that you have planned. So the new moon is open and receptive. So that's when you want to set the trends. And so life changes could be for the better. It may seem irritated at first, but this is forming a square relationship to Uranus, so that there are futuristic elements out there that are irritating you a little bit, and you may have kind of wild or jittery dreams, and it might be good for you to cut your caffeine early in the day and maybe take a little magnesium before you go to sleep so that you can have a good night's sleep, because I can see probably since 2011 you've been having these dreams about sci-fi or whatever. February, okay, this month is a sleeper. It wakes up at the end, but even then seems kind of dreamy to everyone. My advice is pay attention to subtle cues and train your ESP. Avoid toxins and shun illusions. So the big event, we're just kind of hitting one or two big events per month. The big event in January will be the full moon. And this whole time period of the February 20th through March 2nd is really going to be the highlight. The full moon will be in your 11th house of benefactors, patrons, and friends, so that you're going to see how teams will work or not work. There's extra drama always on a full moon, but also revelations about who the best groups are for you, who your best friends are. Meanwhile, you have been in a rapid talent development phase, really since, oh my gosh, to 2010. And your children may be showing signs of spirituality, and and this is a kind of an interesting combination here for this full moon. And this comes out, and the two are maybe there's competition between your social life and your groups, and you developing your own talent or spending time with your children. But both can be just loaded with extra meaning. Okay, in March 2016, we have a bunch of eclipses. So the forecast is that the global opinion shifts. You can't keep up with them. They're changing here, changing there. Topics of religion, patronage, and healing. So my advice is be kind of ready for anything. Keep the faith, but use science, and also a worst-case analysis is going to serve you well. Okay, so the first solar eclipse here of the year is actually on March 8th. And this is going to be in the area of benefactors, patrons, and friends. And this is a kind of what we call a karmic full moon. That is that there's links coming up from the past. There's a lot of monitoring that's necessary. There's maintenance or revisions. So that means people that you lost touch with, that you feel compelled now to see again, and maybe you have some obligatory group meetings that you have to go to. But this can be positive just because the 11th house is thought to be such a positive part of the horoscope. The lunar eclipse that will follow is on March 23rd, and this will focus on your duties, job, accounting, and health. So this could be, just a lot of grunt work and things you're going to do, but tremendous benefits coming from this. And even though this is a challenge to standards and there are extreme emotions, and it can be challenging for females, it will, the last two lines there, the best possible world citizenship role might become more aware of you via your job or work, and also pointers about what to eliminate, what to let go of. Okay, April 2016 is a wild and futuristic month. Use charismatic but humane elements. This quest presented to you in April, should you decide to accept it, is helped by a study of science and yet more SIG, that's Special Interest Group Networking. Okay, so the new moon is interesting because it's 0 degrees to Uranus, and this is going to jazz up your spiritual life and your dreams. You may have to cope with a nemesis. You may even have some resistance towards futurism or innovation that you can overcome at this point. So the new moon is always for setting positive trends in motion and doing things that you know are good for you, even if you don't want to at first. Well, now this is forming a challenge aspect to the, whatever is going on with you in terms of your philosophy of life, your education, your religious background, travel, global awareness, because this is a really potent area for you that's impacting your spirituality, and you're trying to reconcile, your own personal feeling on things versus what, brilliant people are telling you. So in May 2016, heroic missions are coming. They're beckoning, saying, come here, do this. Muscle, courage, and street smarts are a prerequisite, though, so you want to know what you're getting into. My advice is strong allies will reinforce each other via affection, and they can pool resources for great success. Now, there is a Mercury retrograde, April 28th through May 22nd. Okay, so the big event in May is this full moon, and the sun, and the full moon is conjunct Mars, so it's a really vivid thing. You get, a lot of opportunity to make money, or there's just, the sense of aesthetic is stimulated either through nature or through some experience, and your instincts are at full, really intensity. And so a lot of people are in show-off mode, and there's an emphasis at this time of year for collaborations, contracts, and troubleshooting. That's kind of the calendar that's going on. So for you, this will emphasize your survival instincts and gathering. You want to, like they say in the trading business, take your money. If people offer you money, as long as there's not anything illegal, just go ahead and do it. Okay, so now June is really interesting. It's a rewarding but challenging month with tricky and tempting components. This is a contest between superpowers. My advice is use strategy, not emotions, unless you need emotional catharsis. Then do that. Management and adaptive modes are going to say revise, 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 because it just never stops. So it starts with this new moon, and the new moon is, we're still focused on materials, tools, resources, aesthetics. So that you're expecting you made some money, now you're going to make even more. And at the same time, there is the need for the contract because Saturn is in your 8th house. And are things really going to shape up? So then it gets even more complicated because you have opportunities to manifest your talent, and you also have a lot of really interesting benefactors, patrons, and friends who want to get in the mix. So essentially, it's just you are busy on all different angles and trying to make all this work, these new money-making opportunities and business and bringing your friends and bringing your talent. So it takes a lot of energy and a lot of management skills and a lot of negotiation to make this work. So I'm just giving you a heads up on that. July is regrouping on issues probably left over from June, which was just this marathon. Tell us for a little time out, take some time out, take stock and see who's on your team, right? You got to know that. And so you get a chance to do that on the new moon. The new moon is activating meetings, visits, and your media skill set, so you're up on communicating with a lot of people, meanwhile reflecting back on powerful notions, whether they deal with power, wealth, trade secrets, or politics involved with your education, and maybe there's some travel going on, so that you're trying to have meetings, which would be in person, and yet bring in some high-level theories. Okay, so August, the first 3 quarters of August is kind of fun, so play that up, get your summer thing going. But the back-to-school time holds many dear lessons, so build strength and be ready for that. Okay, so here we are, the 3rd week of August, and at this point, there's a Mars-Saturn conjunction. This is very heavy-handed or overloaded. In your case, collaborations, contracts, and troubleshooting, taking a lot of work. You've got the pioneer spirit, courage, and muscle to go in and make these deals, and you certainly have the expertise and organization and professionalism, but the thing that's making it complicated is that, this is kind of like the mixing friends and money thing, or can you get your very, very sensitive benefactors, patrons, and friends to go along with this business deal? So you really want to use a lot of empathy if you're bringing other people into this or bringing groups into it, and just have your spies out and find out what do they think. Okay, September, we're in another eclipse season, so assignments are on that rocky road. It's a positive outcome is likely, but certainly changes in the wind. The last week is very lucky, but the first 3 quarters is ongoing management and trend monitoring, kind of continuing from August. So Mercury's retrograde August 30th through September 22nd, so you want to allow extra time for travel and communications during that time frame of the Mercury retrograde. Okay, so the first solar eclipse in your 5th house is that you're really coming to terms with what's necessary to develop your talent or to see your children, if you have any, into a bright future. So it's this kind of opting for more benefits and opportunity, which is great, and everybody wants that. But because we're involved with this Saturn-Neptune, this has been started in November 2015, and then it was moving forward where you really have great ideas for business and contracts, but you're dealing with some very sensitive benefactors, patrons, and friends. So my way of conceptualizing this is there's Gothic soul searching episode, and you either got to be a saint or a stoic because other people might be uncomfortable. Okay, the full moon is a lunar eclipse, and the full moon in your 11th house of benefactors, patrons, and friends. At this point, you say who's going to work with you and who isn't, because you've got these karmic links with some of these benefactors, patrons, and friends, but some might work and some won't. So there's big decisions. So October starts off with a bang. It's truly a rocket ride into the future. Very fun socially. So get out, be generous, learn new skills. So the new moon in your 6th house is now you're really in a great position to establish some really great dutiful work or improve your job situation, better accounting, better health, especially with Jupiter there. It's just really just huge promising options. So the idea is, really get in there, and it's your best opportunity in 12 years to improve your work situation and your health. Then we have a full moon resulting from this. This is really interesting, and it will activate your intuition. You will see how teams are working or not working. There's a lot of drama. So it'd be a wild ride bringing unexpected results, but good insights about futurism. But here again, make sure you get a good night's sleep. November 2016, mostly neutral, yet with surprise options. Great for catch-up. Lucky new moon at the end of November is going to prep you for December, which is a marathon. Okay, November 18th through 30th, we have, again, this continuing improvement in your duties, job, accounting, and health situation, and this has to take into consideration what are your goals regarding education, religion, what are these long-term kind of trade secrets that you have developed. Are any of these going to work in terms of your job? Are any of these going to actually come into play? So that's what you're wondering at this point. You may be able to solve some of those puzzles. Then the new moon at the end of the month is clearly regarding collaborations, contracts, and troubleshooting. And this is a very fortunate new moon because it's halfway between this really enterprising connection between Jupiter and Mars. Jupiter, we know, in your 6th house, improving your duties, job, accounting, health situation. And Mars in your 10th house is now you've got some great career ideas that have more status, that can advance your life purpose and your reputation. So this is an extremely fortuitous time to make business deals for you. December, an action-packed marathon squeezing out extra work as the end of the year dictates completions ASAP. A visionary new moon sets the next New Year's, that's 2017. Mercury retrograde, December 19th through January 8th. Okay, so keep that in mind. So so we're starting off with this really interesting full moon phase, which is looks like it's on December 4th. Well, let's see, it's starting December 11th, but I'm thinking this is really going to carry over through into early January. In this case, the full moon is highlighting meetings, very important meetings, media skill sets, so you're getting the word out to a lot of people, and that you are drawing on education, religion, and travel, and what is your expertise, and also business deals and corporate collaborations are very active at this time. And then the 12th house coming in here with this, again, this sort of weird things about the future and how do you really feel about it. It might be making you a little nervous, but now you can maybe put some of that nervousness to work, or sort of your natural innovative abilities to work. So the next thing is that you're, just this continuing, I want to encourage you to continue to improve your health, your counting ability, your counting systems, I guess, and then your job situation, because that's going on through September 2017, and it's always reflecting back on your psychic situation and your perspective. So we're going to end this report with the new moon in your 9th house. Education, religion is a big focus, and you can move forward with more global awareness, and also that you have some new friendship options popping up. Maybe there can be some new benefactors, some new groups that can bring you into the future. And even though it's, again, remember, with Neptune in your 11th house, you do have to handle your group situations with a lot of empathy and extra care. So anyway, that's it for 2016. Have a great year. Thank you for watching. I think you're one of the more stable people.
Bu akşam seminerimizi canlı olarak mobil uygulamamız üzerinden yapıyoruz.